Hello, this is Kyle Zagirik with PowerNotes. Today is Wednesday, May 3rd, and I'm excited to walk through this sneak peek of our latest academic integrity and AI integrated teaching features. PowerNotes Insight and PowerNotes AI are designed to empower AI use in the classroom while preserving academic integrity. I would like to add that several of the features we will cover today are still in their beta version, and we will not get to all of the latest features that we will have coming later this year. Now let's take a step back. Cheating and academic dishonesty have always existed. In many cases, students make poor decisions during their studies due to time constraints, stress, and other factors constantly affecting the evolving education landscape. When it comes to reading, research, and writing, we saw a seismic shift when learning materials went digital a few decades ago. Students were forced to turn to word processing documents to record their learning and work within the constraints of these environments that weren't originally designed for education. Copy-paste and a number of other practices have been used to gather, organize, track, and revise information, but these best practices still leave many students frustrated with digital writing. Grading the outputs produced in Word documents often leaves teachers wondering how a student arrived there. The opaque research process and focus on the output have led some students to turn to contract cheating, and now in 2023, using generative AI to produce the outputs. This leaves us with several questions. How can we confidently teach in the age of AI? And if we would like to, incorporate AI into our assignments? How can we see inside a student's thought process and research history to help them and ensure AI wasn't used dishonestly or the work wasn't completed by someone else entirely? The answer is PowerNotes. So let's take a look quickly at two example assignments. Showing on my screen here, I have two essays on climate change. Both are examples, so please do not give me a grade. However, one was written by a student and has an in-depth log of work history, and one was written by ChatGPT in about 15 seconds using one prompt. Scrolling the essays, you will find a similar structure. You will find citations with valid sources. However, one of them was completed in only a few minutes, thanks to a few tweaks and proofreading by the student that used ChatGPT. And one was actually written by a student using a combination of in-depth research, materials provided by their instructor, their own writing, and even AI-generated text, which the teacher allowed for that specific assignment. However, when you're looking at the final output, it's very difficult to determine how this work was completed. I will tell you that Malik Ali was the student that completed all of the work on their own, and thanks to PowerNotes, they have an in-depth work history showing everything from start until finish. Kyle Zagirik over here on the left-hand side of the screen used ChatGPT to produce this paper in only a few minutes, starting with one prompt, then going through confirming all of the sources were legitimate, so they weren't flagged by an AI detector, and making a few adjustments to the text to make it more human-like. So let's take a look at how this assignment could be facilitated in PowerNotes to ensure that the students are completing the work. Here I am inside the PowerNotes assignment feature that teachers can access through their learning management system. You'll see a number of different controls, but I'm going to focus on only a few. The first, you can select a project template that you would like to create or you would like to send out to your students. So here I click on my climate change research project. I can view this project as a teacher. This is something I've created and I want my students to do. So here I've added some objectives and requirements. I've added structure with the PowerNotes topics written in color here. And I have instructions under each section. I can also come in and add what we call the PowerNotes Insight settings, which are assignment expectations. So the target number of sources that they should use, target number of annotations that should be added, And if we would like to, we can also enable a target time spent. And at the very end, we can also enable a file upload that will compare that written artifact with all of the work that has been added to PowerNotes over time. When I click update, this will go out to all of my students. Here is an example of this class where you can see the student right here, fourth down, Malik Ali, and Malik's assignment has been completed. Malik has hit all of the assignment expectations, and after submitting their essay into the LMS, that final comparison showed that 100% of the work done in that essay was completed by Malik, and the instructors can actually see that by clicking inside of their project. So this is the PowerNotes outline. As you can see here, AI was enabled. So the instructor can see which writing was generated by AI, which was generated by the student, and what came from an outside source, where it came from, what exactly they saved, and so on. So this research outline is the schema that eventually made up that essay that we started on. On this screen, you can also see the insight score. So this is a real-time score that will update as students work towards those assignment settings, and it'll update one final time when that paper is submitted. Instructors can also see an activity log. So clicking on the activity log will show an in-depth review of everything that's ever happened inside of this project. So if the student added some of their own writing, you can jump in there to see what they added. If something was deleted, if they made a highlight from an outside source, you can see what they highlighted and where it came from. Within PowerNotes, it is impossible to fake outside citations because PowerNotes will record the actual site that you're on in order to help students automatically save source information and citations. It's very easy for instructors to create assignments, submit them through the LMS to all of their students, and when the students receive the project, they will see something like this. Here I am in my example student, Malik's project dashboard, where I can see all of the different PowerNotes projects I'm working on. These can range from my own projects that I could be using to take notes in a class or work on something on my own, or these can be assignments that were sent to me automatically through the LMS by my instructor. Here in my ancient Rome assignment, I have not done the work yet. Here is the outline that was sent to me. In my climate change project, which I've already completed inside of PowerNotes, I've exported to a Word document and I've cleaned it up, put it in the format that it needed to be, and I submitted it to the LMS. That is already completed, so I can actually archive this project if I would like. To give you an idea of what students can see when they're actually using the tools, we can jump into a few online sources. PowerNotes is part browser extension, so the only thing you'll need to do is add the extension, toggle the tool on. Now it's very easy to gather, organize, and track information while you're in the open web. So here I can highlight text, organize this information into one of my topics that were assigned by my instructor, and if they give us the flexibility, I can even add my own topics and customize the project to my own liking. After you've organized the information, it'll prompt you to annotate. You can take notes, summarize, anything you'd like. What we have saved goes into quotations, so we know it's not ours. The instructors can always see this, so if they would like to know where the information came from, they can easily check the sources, and PowerNotes will automatically cite the source for the student. So students can always gather this information. They can click on a free-form note, open up a blank space, start to compose and write inside of their projects. And if they would like to, and if it's enabled by the instructor, they can actually utilize AI inside of the assignment. Here in the browser, this will work on top of any online source, including things from your library, things from ebooks, anything that you access in the browser. We have an AI-powered discovery tool. So when I click on this, when I'm in the browser, it'll do three things for this article for me. The first thing it will do is summarize it. So within a few seconds, I have a summary from this article so I can quickly see, is this relevant for my research? Then PowerNotes will automatically create 5 research topics based on the text from this page. So if this is relevant, I can look at other similar articles. I can click on one of these. Here, it will run a search and show additional search results based on these search terms. In this example, I have it tied into Google. However, we have the power to incorporate this into your library. So we can actually lead students into your own library catalog based on the search terms that were provided. And the third thing we provide is a Q&A. So you can query the article, ask it questions about it. In this example, the AI, its universe is closed to this article. So if I ask it a question that's not relevant, like what is my favorite color, which in most cases a chatbot would answer, here it says that question doesn't seem like it's related. However, in these other examples, if I ask it specific questions that is relevant to the article, it will give me answers. So as you can see here, I've used PowerNotes to pull in information to my outline using our interface and helping students stay organized with the topics. When I go back into that project outline, I will also have the ability to utilize AI. And I can do it with what we call closed and open prompting. So here I click on my brainstorm with AI. I can go down to our prompt field here, and I can start with something very broad. Tell me more about climate change. This could be a great place to start. If AI, of course, is enabled for the classroom, I cannot emphasize that enough, that teachers have the ability to turn this on or off for the assignment. If it's off or if it's on, those factors will be configured into that insight score. So here I ask it something open, and this actually acts just as if you were to go into ChatGPT, ask this question. I can take this work, I can add it to my project, or I can just keep talking to the chatbot to try to find a better piece of information. As you can see here, I've added this piece of text generated by AI into my assignment, and it's clearly tagged as AI generated, and my instructor can see all of this happen. Something that's unique to PowerNotes that's different than the standard open prompting is what we call closed prompting. So when I click in here to ask a question, it will show me a checkbox list of all of the information I've already grabbed. So I can take research that I've already done, and I can ask questions based on that research. So once again, I can close the AI's universe to only the things that I've already found. So instead of having it go off into the open web, possibly hallucinate, grab sources that don't exist, I've already done the work. Humans are great at finding and identifying research. So I've done that. I've evaluated the sources. I've pulled it into this project, and now I can use the AI to summarize, ask questions, talk to it, and so on. There are a lot of opportunities here. We are still in the early stages of this. The key piece is we enable the use of AI inside of classrooms. We make it visible to instructors, and we have our patented proof of work academic integrity piece that can monitor this process as it happens. Thank you so much for your time. We hope you found this information valuable. We will be rolling out new features and video tutorials as these tools are finalized here in the coming weeks, and we're happy to host an online demonstration. You can contact me at kyle@powernotes.com, KYLE@powernotes.com.